the pressure comes from me putting a high expectation for myself, going out there, defending my belt, going back home without it is not an option for me. So the pressure is there, not only to win, but to perform to the best of my abilities and being better than the previous outing. So, yeah, of course there's pressure, but, with the whole world watching, like you say, how do I stay calm in this whole situation? We're a couple of weeks out, and for me to be at all worrying about a fight, the worries, how I get rid of these worries, I prepared for the last 12 weeks for this fight. I know I'm prepared as good as I'll ever be. I've done every single thing I could to be as prepared as possible for this, and I know it's going to pay off on fight night.
Dricus Du Plessis has just shared his shocking game plan ahead of his upcoming clash with Khamzat Chimaev. Moreover, Dricus Du Plessis said he's fine with being the underdog, as he's been one for most of his career, yet he's still the champion. He acknowledged Khamzat Chimaev as the toughest opponent he's faced, but noted that each new challenger brings greater danger. Du Plessis said he's lost before and doesn't need to feel that again. Confident in his growth, he stated he'll prove once more why he's the champion.
Well, yet to lose means that I have to lose sometime, and I don't need that. I have 2 losses in my career. I know how it feels, and I'm completely fine if I never feel it again. But I'm the underdog. I've been the underdog most of my career, but yet I am the champion. So, odds don't make fights. And for me, I 100% believe this is the best opponent that I've faced to date, but so was the previous one. Every time that you step in there, you are going to face the next most dangerous guy, especially as a champion. So for me, yes, this is the best fighter that the best opponent that I've ever come up against, but once again, I will show my improvements and why I am the champion.
However, Dricus Du Plessis responded by saying his fighting style is highly unorthodox and unlike anything most fighters have encountered in the UFC. He called it controversial but effective, emphasizing that its uniqueness gives him a major advantage. Du Plessis pointed out that it's nearly impossible for opponents to prepare for him because finding someone who can replicate his movement and approach in training is extremely difficult.
Yeah, I think, with my style, that is a very, like I say, it's a very controversial style in the UFC. Unlike anything that most people have ever seen, it's only a benefit because it's proven to be effective. But then again, how do you prepare for that? How do you find somebody to mimic that? And that's at the end of the day almost my niche. It's hard, close to impossible to prepare for me because I have this unique style that where do you find somebody to mimic it?
Furthermore, Caio Borralho admitted he has consistently bet against Dricus Du Plessis in the past and has been proven wrong each time. He believes the matchup with Khamzat Chimaev could end very quickly, possibly in the first round or early in the second, similar to Chimaev's fight with Robert Whittaker. While he leans 60% toward Chimaev getting an early finish, he also sees a 40% chance that Du Plessis, with his size, strength, and ability to absorb pressure, could stuff the takedowns, survive the early rounds, and take control as the fight progresses.
Bro, this is crazy because I always bet against DDP and he always shut in my mouth. But I'm feeling like this can be a fight as fast as the fight with Khamzat and Whittaker. Like finishing the first round or beginning of the second round, 60% of me say that Khamzat will finish this fight like real fast, but 40% says that Dricus, with his size and height and his weight, he's a big guy for the division. I think he can stop the takedowns or even survive the first 2 rounds, and then the fight gets better for him. So I'm 60-40 on these 2 options.
However, Dricus Du Plessis explained that pressure is a crucial part of his mindset because it shows he cares deeply. He feels pressure mainly from his own high expectations to defend his title and refuses to return home without it. This pressure pushes him not just to win, but to perform better than before. Despite the whole world watching, he stays calm by trusting his preparation. After dedicating 12 weeks to training, he knows he's as ready as possible and confident it will pay off on fight night.
Yeah, I think for me, pressure is such a big part of the game. I think if you don't feel any pressure, then you don't care enough. For me, the pressure comes from me putting a high expectation for myself, going out there, defending my belt, going back home without it is not an option for me. So the pressure is there, not only to win, but to perform to the best of my abilities and being better than the previous outing. So, yeah, of course there's pressure, but, with the whole world watching, like you say, how do I stay calm in this whole situation. You know, we're a couple of weeks out, and for me to be at all worrying about a fight, the worries, how I get rid of these worries, I prepared for the last 12 weeks for this fight. I know I'm prepared as good as I'll ever be. I've done every single thing I could to be as prepared as possible for this, and I know it's going to pay off on fight night.
Moreover, Dricus Du Plessis acknowledged that while Khamzat Chimaev has world-class wrestling and grappling skills, at the highest level, everyone is elite in those areas. He emphasized that MMA is more than just wrestling or grappling. It's about combining all aspects of fighting. Du Plessis admitted he may not be the best wrestler, grappler, or striker individually, but when you blend all those skills together, he believes he is the best overall fighter in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Khamzat obviously world-class wrestling, grappling, but you know, this level of the sport, everybody's world-class. You know, this is not grappling or wrestling, this is MMA. And that's where I'm going to exploit, is being the best in my... we're not fighting for a wrestling title, we're not fighting for a grappling title. We are fighting for the UFC title, and that's where I am the best. I'm not the best wrestler, I'm not the best grappler or best striker, but when you put all of those things together, if you combine it, and that's the sport we do, I am the best in the world.
Furthermore, Caio Borralho further explained that the longer the fight lasts, the more it benefits Dricus Du Plessis. He noted that Khamzat Chimaev is an aggressive fighter who pushes forward from the opening bell, but if things don't go according to plan, he tends to fade in the later rounds. In contrast, Du Plessis keeps pushing even when fatigued, constantly dragging his opponents into deep waters and forcing them to work. According to Caio, after the second round, the fight starts to shift more in Du Plessis' favor.
So the longer the fight goes, the more it favors DDP?
Yeah, for sure, 100%, because Khamzat is the guys that go for it in the bell. He's just go at it, and sometimes if things don't go as the way he planned it, we've seen already he gets a little bit tired in the later rounds. So with a 5-round fight, and Dricus is a guy that even after he gets tired, he's still working. He's still making you go in deep waters and making you work. So I think the fight gets real better to DDP after the second round.
Chael Sonnen isn't convinced by the doubts surrounding Chimaev's cardio. He firmly rejects claims that Khamzat lacks stamina, insisting the young fighter has plenty of energy and is just using it aggressively. Sonnen likened Chimaev to the legendary Fedor Emelianenko, who was famous for pushing through fatigue without losing pace. In Sonnen's view, calling Chimaev's conditioning a flaw is unfair and overlooks the fighter's grit and determination.
De Renner has trained with both of them. He said there's going to be an early storm by Chimaev, but he believes Dricus can sustain the storm, and each passing minute favors Dricus. Now, what he's talking about is conditioning. You asked me about that fight 2 years ago or a year ago, even 6 months ago. I would have quickly dismissed it and told you Chimaev. I would tell you Chimaev every single round. But I don't feel that way anymore. I feel and I'm seeing what other people are feeling and seeing. The greatness of Dricus, it is something that is now not only witnessed, but recognized.
Jamahal Hill expressed a slight preference for Dricus Du Plessis in the fight, recalling how Du Plessis has surprised him before. He emphasized Du Plessis' excellent cardio and physical power as key strengths, while noting that Chimaev tends to slow in extended bouts. Hill also pointed out Du Plessis' unpredictable striking, which could be crucial in landing significant strikes. However, he cautioned against underestimating Chimaev, praising his innate grappling skills as a major danger.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. It may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. I think he's got the better cardio. His physical strength, I believe, can pose a problem for anybody in that division. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time, get a read on. So I believe he will land. So I probably lean more towards DDP, but you can't count a guy like Khamzat out. I believe he's one of the best natural pure grapplers. He does have the ability to throw some hands too. So it's interesting.
Din Thomas thinks Dricus Du Plessis gains the advantage if the fight extends into the later rounds. He noted that Chimaev could struggle against Du Plessis' relentless pressure and resilience. Thomas emphasized that genuine stamina comes from fighting smartly, and while less conditioned fighters tire, Du Plessis' balanced skill set helps him conserve energy without losing activity. This efficient approach, Thomas believes, could be crucial for Du Plessis to seize control as the fight progresses.
So what do you think? It just goes into the championship rounds and he figures them out?
Yeah, I think that by the third round, Khamzat's like, all right, I don't really know. I can't. This guy's not going away. Wow. And also too is if Khamzat does, let's say he does pace himself a little better, Dricus will just pour it on him.
Right.
So I think that pacing is a big factor. We always talk about this cardio thing, but cardio is really just being able to manage whatever pace you have based on the skill set you have. That's really what it comes down to. Like if you have a very limited skill set and you're forced to be in situations that you're not comfortable in, you're going to have bad cardio. But when you have a very well-rounded skill set and you can pace yourself better, you're gonna have good cardio. So, I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Arman Tsarukyan mentioned that Khamzat's game plan against Dricus is quite predictable since Dricus fights the same way every time without making adjustments. While Dricus has offered to pay $10,000 for every takedown, Tsarukyan pointed out that the real challenge isn't taking him down, it's keeping him controlled on the ground. He added that if Dricus actually pays for each takedown, he likely won't earn anything because Khamzat will continually take him down and maintain control throughout the fight.
He does every fight the almost same things, and he's not gonna change anything. Just take him down. It's not difficult, but hold him is more difficult. So, but if he's really thinks like he's gonna pay his 10,000, he's not gonna make money from that fight. He's gotta give all his money to Khamzat.
In contrast, Gilbert Burns, who trains regularly with Dricus, praised him as an extremely tough and physically strong fighter. Burns described the matchup as difficult to predict, saying Khamzat will probably come out aggressively as usual, but believes Dricus can slow him down, avoid submissions, and stay composed. He expects the first round to be the most challenging, but if Dricus gets through it, he'll become a serious threat to Khamzat. Burns called Dricus a relentless fighter with heavy hands and excellent stamina, confident that he will defeat Khamzat and retain his title.
I train with Dricus a lot. Dricus is actually a very, very good fighter. Crazy cardio, very physically strong. He's a very hard fight to predict. You know, I think Chimaev is going to start very strong like he always do. I do believe Dricus can kind of slow him down, don't get submitted, relax a little bit. But I do believe Dricus, if he get past that first round, I think that's the hardest part. What I think he will do, I think he's gonna pass, and then he's gonna be a nightmare for Chimaev. I think Dricus is a monster, hits very hard, doesn't break, good gas tank. I do believe Dricus is gonna beat Chimaev and remain the champion.
Yeah! Rainier de Ridder observed that fighters like Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns gave Khamzat Chimaev too much room early in their bouts, allowing him to control the fight's tempo. He believes that both opponents matched Chimaev's pace, but could have had a better chance if they had started more aggressively.
I think they are like Kamaru, Gilbert. They kind of stepped off the gas for a little bit, if you know what I mean. They kind of gave him the chance to start and to set the pace and to take the lead. And we saw in those fights that they were pretty much able to hang with him. And I think if they would have come out a bit more aggressive, they would have had a chance to beat him.
Additionally, de Ridder suggested that Dricus Du Plessis might be favored due to his explosive and aggressive approach in the opening rounds. He noted that Chimaev hasn't been very active recently, and his quick victory over Robert Whittaker didn't offer a clear picture of his current condition. Still, de Ridder acknowledged that Chimaev could have made significant improvements training at Kill Cliff, making the fight highly exciting and unpredictable.
Dricus is a guy who doesn't really hold anything back anyway in the first couple of rounds, so that's why I feel like Dricus might be the favorite in my mind, but we'll see. We haven't seen Khamzat as active. We didn't see a lot from him in the Whittaker fight because he took him down, stayed on top, and then finished him pretty quickly. So I'm curious, maybe he evolved a lot as well. We don't really know where Khamzat is at, because he might have just really upped his game and really evolved as a fighter as well. He's training with one of the guys I like to train with a lot as well in Baisangur, Kill Cliff guy. So I don't know. It's an interesting fight. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it.
Sharamagomedov voiced strong faith in Dricus Du Plessis before his next fight, emphasizing that Dricus is now in exceptional and well-prepared hands. He cautioned against underestimating him and forecasted a standout performance that will leave a lasting mark. Magomedov concluded by saying that after the fight, everyone will remember Dricus's name and asked for 2 seconds of silence to honor the impact he is about to create.
As I said before, Dricus is in very good, strong hands in this fight, and we will make sure to remember his name with 2 seconds of silence afterwards.
Ilia Topuria offered a respectful take on both competitors, highlighting Chimaev's aggressive style and his preference for finishing fights instead of leaving it to the judges. He didn't pick a definitive favorite, but shared his eagerness to see the bout and hopes both fighters perform at their best. Having friends on each side, Topuria simply wants the superior athlete to prevail and trusts their abilities will deliver an entertaining contest.
He's the man. He's a savage. He calls him his shots. He finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish. He's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a beast. So he deserves to fight for the title as soon as possible. We're gonna have an amazing fight because I love Dricus Du Plessis. He's a great human being. I have a great relationship with him. I have a great relationship with Khamzat also. But as a fan of mixed martial arts, it's gonna be a very exciting fight. I hope the best man wins, and I wish best of the luck to both of them.
Rampage Jackson expressed deep admiration for the fierce energy at Santos Studio, highlighting Khamzat Chimaev and Arman Sarukian as elite UFC fighters driven by unstoppable willpower and relentless work ethic. He praised the gym's tough environment and said seeing their dedication up close turned him into a lifelong fan.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm so impressed what Jackson and Santos Studio has created here. They got like top-ranked fighters training here. Khamzat and Arman, you know, those guys are some of the best fighters in the UFC right now, and it's amazing to see the work ethic and this facility that you built for them, and let them know that I'm gonna be big fans of them forever. And Khalil Browntree, he's one of the best light heavyweights that I've seen in a while. The guy fights with tremendous heart, and it's good to see him come here from Vegas and spend time here. If I wasn't like being a lazy bum right now, I'd get in there and move around with him.
Sean O'Malley expressed excitement about the Khamzat versus Dricus matchup, recognizing Du Plessis' consistent performance but being amazed by Khamzat's ruthless efficiency in dismantling Robert Whittaker. In O'Malley's view, that level of destruction makes Khamzat the obvious favorite, unpredictable, unstoppable, and extraordinary.
DDP versus Khamzat. I feel like Khamzat's hard to count out. DDP is too. Obviously, everyone keeps counting him out each fight. He comes out there and does it, but Khamzat, just the way he did it to Whittaker, it's like, holy. I'm gonna go with Khamzat on that. I do really like DDP. Yeah, it's very exciting for me right now.
Bilal Muhammad leaned confidently toward Khamzat in a fight against Du Plessis, citing his precise striking and underrated endurance. However, he cautioned that Khamzat's greatest threat might be himself if he exhausts too much energy chasing an early finish. To secure a 5-round victory, Bilal emphasized the need for Chimaev to fight smarter, not just harder.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively, he's strong, obviously, and then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet, and definitely crisper on the ground.
Bear DeGidio described Khamzat's training camp as a battlefield, focused, intense, and razor sharp. The workouts are grueling, sparring is top tier, and coaches are precise like marksmen. According to Bear, Khamzat is fully committed, driven by a predator's mindset. He called him a true savage with the heart of a champion and the mentality of a killer.
Yeah, I think Khamzat's camp's really tuning up right now. I feel the intensity, the dynamicness of kind of the sparring partners and the drilling and the techniques they're working on on is becoming a lot more intricate, a lot more detailed. There's plans for everything, and I think that it's really important to understand what it is a fighter needs and what they don't need, and I think that's why you have to have a good group of coaches around you, and I think that's what Khamzat has around him. He has a great group of coaches. The sparring is going to a new level, so you see things turning up. You could feel the intensity when you walk in the room, and obviously I've been having the opportunity to chill at night with Khamzat and Armin and kind of their team and just get a deeper dive into what motivates them. And Khamzat's motivated by being the best in the world. That's it. He wants to bring the belt back home. He wants to show everybody who believed in him, his family, his friends, his team, his coaches, everything they thought is real. Khamzat's a real dog. That dude wants to go out there and kill.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about their upcoming fight? We would love to hear your thoughts on their upcoming clash. So share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen right now.